Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makakudash. Say double honor to the apostles and the elders that do with a great millstone. Peace and salutation to the Akim out there pushing his gospel and sincerity and truth. Say shalom to the humble and sincere sisters out there as well. To the brother Kalam from the GMS Short Camp. Come back with another lesson entitled The Art, right? The art, the practice of being quiet. Right, and this is an art, this is a skill, this is a practice that men have a problem with, right, and can't seem to master. You know, when you now come into the truth, you just be on fire, and you just be able to tell a man's maturity or immaturity by this. You'd be on fire and you'd be telling everybody because you ain't learned the full truth yet. You know, in other words, you learn that is an election, is a chosen predestination. So you run around telling everybody that you know, looking for fight, looking for debate, looking, you know, to war everybody and thing like you're on fire because it's in your mouth like honey, it's sweet. And you understand how nobody else could see what you seeing. Right, and you go, you know, imagine you seeing, imagine the sun turn white. You trying to tell everybody the sun turn white. You understand? Nobody can see it except you. You reach a point where you can't stop telling anybody. Because you realize that they wouldn't be able, they can't see what you seeing, you know. But this is our immaturity, right? When you now come in, you begin to tell everybody and you know you can't control the fire, right? Now, something in martial arts is teach you. It's not about the man that had the most strength. You understand? Is the man that could win the fight. In other words, if you and I have the same strength, and I have learned the skills and I have learned to control my strength, to use my strength in a controlled state, I will be able to overtake you. Because you just come in with full power, you rushing at me. But here it is, I have mastered my strength and I able to manipulate my strength, right? Manipulate my body against yours. And because I had a control, I had a discipline, not a discipline, I had a control, I have that experience, I will be able to, you know, overthrow you. Same thing with emotions, you know, a man that can control his emotions is a man that have more experience, have more wisdom. You understand? And a man that have no control, right? And the art of being quiet, you know, learning to stay silent at times, learning when it is right to speak is something that, you know, men of the Lord ought to know because the scriptures talk about it. You understand? Because a prayer, but this truth is not our truth. This is the truth of Yahweh Shem Shai. When we teach on the highways and the byways, when we make videos, when we do, you know, lives and all these things, the purpose of the live is not to show what we know, you know, but to wake up and to feed the elect, right? When you speak this truth, you ain't speaking it to show, hey, I know this breakdown, you know. You're speaking it, as I say, to preach the Lord's word, to preach the Lord's words, to bring forth, to preach the prophecies, so that the elect may hear, and those that have already heard, that they may gain a understanding, a deeper understanding, right? So the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding that we possess, it is not for ourselves to become prideful or arrogant, but for the sake of the body, to teach one another. You understand? So when you learn a breakdown, it doesn't mean that you're better than anybody else. It just simply means you have learned this breakdown. Now it is your duty to teach another this what you have learned. You understand? First precept I want to get is Ecclesiastes chapter 5 verse 1 to 2. It says, set thy heart upon thy goods and say not, I have enough. Select. Ecclesiastes 5 verse 1. It says, keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of power, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before power, for power is in heaven, and thou upon earth, therefore let thy words be few. So when thou goest away, the house of the Heavenly Father, the house of the Heavenly Father is where the brothers are assembling throughout the four corners of the earth. That the house of the Lord. Right? You know where two or three are gathered, you know the Lord is in the midst. Right? So in the house of the Lord, even in feasts, right, any gatherings with the brethren, it say be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools. Right? As a younger brother myself and other younger brothers, it is better to listen. You know, I've been in the truth. Let me see, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Around 6 years. But I've only been a part of GMS for around 2 years, I believe. Yeah, common year. 2 years, right? I am not an elder brother. A lot of men think because they're in the truth a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you know, they think that hey, they reach some way and there's this, you know, big swords, man. No, right? 5 years could pass, yeah, 10 years could pass, yeah, right? You is not no elder to say that hey, use the greatest thing to come out. You understand? And they know you're a special man, you know, and you better than the Akim, right? And you know, in a different level to them, no, right? Men that say the time men 2-3 years, you understand, and they don't already looking to put themselves on top. You understand? They don't already looking to make themselves equal to the apostles, to the elders, to the men that teach them this word. You understand? Completely going off. Right? Men that only wanna yap them out and they ain't wanna hear nothing. Right? And a man like that is a man that believes that he has heard enough. When a man has no desire to listen and he only has a desire to speak and to add, that means that he think that he has heard enough, he has received enough, that he has learned it all and he has nothing else to learn, so all he could do is speak. You understand? That is what that says. Right? In the midst of men that are, you know, older than you spiritually, right? If you think yourself to be up on their level, right, and always trying to equal yourself towards them, then hey, you going off. You understand? You completely going off. It say that yeah, be more ready to hear than to give. What the sacrifice of fools? And the reason why it is a sacrifice of fools, because anything that you could say, hey, the men above you, they know it. You understand? They already knew it, right? So you can imagine we in the midst of the apostles, right? And here it is, you trying to run the show, right? Your teachers say you trying to run the show like if you know more than these men, as if you better than these men, or making yourself like you and these men on the same level because you know a couple breakdowns and you know you could pull out precepts and you've been in the truth all 2-3 years and you feel like hey, you made it, forgetting that these men know everything that you know and more and have been enduring for decades. You understand? That is the order. We all came in the truth at specific times for a reason, so our order could be established. You understand? So our ranking system could be established. Not to say that our brother that older than you is better than you, or to say that our brother is older than you have a higher chance of being saved, but just for order sake. You understand? Just for the sake of order, it has to be that way. That is how our government have to be established. Everybody can't be the king, right? Everybody can't be the prime minister, otherwise it wouldn't work. Everybody needs a specific thing, a specific position for it to run, right? So you is not to usurp yourself or make yourself equal to men that are above you, but just fulfill your own lot. And it is better to hear, you know, right? The time to speak. As scripture says, there's a time for everything. There is a time to speak, you know, but there's a time to listen as well. If every aspect of you and this truth is you just want to talk, then you already want to listen to nothing. Alright? If a man trying to teach you something and you trying to add into it, then you already trying to learn. You trying to teach too. Right? You are humbling down to learn. You understand? That is not teaching, that is a conversation. You know, Salakia for saying it like that, but you know, for like a better term, right? The book of James, chapter 1, verse 19. Say, wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath, for the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of power. So it says, let every man be what? Swift to hear. It is better to hear, it's better to learn and receive information. Right? You don't have to open your mouth in every single circumstance. Your 2 cents is not always needed. Right? Even in the works or wherever it may be, right? You would see men cutting off men and it not flowing properly, because why? Everybody wanna say something, right? And again, it's not about what you know, right? It just is. It's better to let the spirit flow. You understand? Let the spirit flow. But if you ain't wanna listen, right? Because hey, you think yourself that you don't have to listen anymore, that you reach a position where all you could do is teach and you're not ready to learn anything, it's gonna cause confusion, right? It is going to cause confusion because you're gonna think that hey, you worthy to speak because you already have all this knowledge. You had to speak, right? And your word and what you had to say is going to triumph what any other brother have to say. So you would cut them off because whatever you had to say is more important than what the brother had to say. And what is that? That's pride. That's arrogance. That being selfish, being self-centered. And the Lord, we know the Lord hate pride. He hate arrogancy. Right? It say be slow to speak, but be swift to hear. Listen. You understand? Listen, receive, soak in information. Right? There's a time to speak and there's a time to listen. And you're not listening to give a response on it. You're listening to receive. You understand? The book of Proverbs 17:27. It says, he that hath knowledge spareth his words, and a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit. Even a fool, when he holdeth his peace, is counted wise, and he that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding. Right? So a man with real knowledge, he spareth his words. He don't go blabbering. He don't go blabbering about. You understand? He don't go blabbering him out at every single opportunity he get, cutting off everybody, you know, as if he running the show, he's the spotlight upon him. No, he spared his words. A man of understanding is of an excellent spirit, an excellent mind. It's a fool, even when a fool holdeth his peace, he is counted wise. Right? He that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding, because a man of understanding, a wise man, knows when to speak and when to speak not, when to hear, you understand, when to listen and when to speak, when to learn and when to teach. You understand? If you just run in your mouth 24/7, you just run in your mouth, that is immaturity. You understand? That is a sense of immaturity. Same Proverbs 29:11. It says, a fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keepeth it in till afterwards. Right? So a wise man knows when to break into a conversation. He don't just start and he talk it and he can't stop. And you know, he knows when to enter into the conversation. Right? He knows when, he said what, he keepeth it in till afterwards. Right? So a wise man has the ability to wait his turn to speak. You understand? A wise man knows when to crack in. He knows when to listen and he knows when to speak. But a fool uttereth all his mind. There's no stop. Right? He continues to babble and babble and babble. Whoever come to mind, just saying and going and going and going. He's not allowing things to flow in that order. Right? And they come to the realization too, a lot of younger men, right, does act this way. Right? Okay, look at the apostles, you look at the elders, and you could see these things in them. Is a lot of younger men who been in the truth some months or a couple of years, and they think themselves to be greater than they really are, but they don't understand that they ain't reached nowhere yet. Right? And because of this, they think that what they have to say matters and it is important. And no, I am not saying that a brother, just because you know in the truth 30 years, don't mean that you can't say something or you can't expound or add a 2 cents or you know, or teaching. Right? Because if you learn something and you know you keep that something, it is only right that you share it. You understand? And you teach it. But the problem comes again when men trying to make themselves equal to the men that are above them. When men add pride into it, when they add arrogancy into it, you understand? When they become selfish with it, that is where the problem begins. Right? Because alright, like this video I'm doing right now, I'm talking a lot. It's been how long? It's been 16 minutes, right? And I've been talking, you know. But again, even when brothers making videos, you have to talk. Even on the works, you have to talk, you have to speak. But again, I'll say it again, the problem is not just speaking. The problem is knowing when to speak, right? When to listen, when to speak, when to learn, and when to teach, when to expound on something, when to add a 2 cents, right? Learning not to cut men off because you think what you have to say is more important than them. That is where the problem comes in, right? Last precept is Sirach 32:18. It says, let thy speech be short, right? And this they did point here. Let thy speech be short, comprehending much in a few words. Be as one that knoweth, and yet holdeth his tongue. If thou be among great men, make not thyself equal to them with them. And when ancient men are in place, use not many words. Right? Again, let thy speech be short, comprehending much. You know what? Let me read verse 7. Speak, young man, if there be need of thee, and yet scarcely when thou art asked twice. Right? So we see in here, speak, young man, when what? When there be need of thee. You understand? Don't go babbling your mouth and running your mouth and trying to run things like if you've been in the truth 40 years or something. You understand? Speak when it is required. Let thy speech be short, comprehending much. And though you don't have to go and babble for 10 minutes. You understand? Let thy speech be short. Get to the point. You understand? Get to the point. Right? Because long speech comes with what? Experience. But as men, as like, you know, we're not in the truth that long. 4 years, 5 years, or I know wherever it is. Right? Get to the point. Read the verse, read the chapter, you know, read the precept, break it down and move on. You don't need to be running. And hey, you does know. You know, you does know. You could hear it in a man's voice. If it had a sense of pride to it. You know, you could hear it in a man's voice when he teaching. You could hear the arrogance as if he really trying to teach you like, or if he just trying to show that he have wisdom, not but that he have knowledge. Right? It say, be as though that one that know it and yet hold it his tongue. So a wise man, he might know what it is, right? He might know. He could say it too, but he's going to hold his tongue because it is not required that he speak. He don't think that, you know, is the suitable moment to speak, so he would what? Hold his tongue. Right? It says, thou be among great men, the apostles, the elders, even in our various camps, the men that are older than us spiritually. Make not thyself equal with them. When ancient men are in place, use not many words. So in the midst of men that are above you, use not many words, but rather, you know, speak, young man, if there be need of thee. Right? So hey, learn the art of being quiet. And with that, hope this was edifying. Giving all praises, honor and glory to Abashim Yoshai, Bashim Makakodash. Shalom.